Hey, it's Emily and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm bringing to you my mid-year freak out tag. So I will leave the original links down below, but this is a tag that everyone seems to do every summer around the kind of June, July time, discussing some of the best, the worst, surprising, disappointing books throughout the year so far. I think I've done this maybe like 3 or 4 times now. I have 14 questions here to go through. I'll try and be quick as I don't want this video to go on too long. But I think without further ado, we should jump on into the first question, which is, what is the best book you've read so far this year? I'm not going to include any rereads in this tag. I'm going to try and stick to books that are new to me this year. I kind of had 2 that were kind of top of this for me. I think I've had about like 3 or 4 5 stars this year so far that haven't been rereads. And so I've got a top 2 here. I couldn't really pick between the 2 because they're so different. The first one is Deity by Matt Wesolowski. This is book 5 in the 6 story series. I've been reading them, really enjoying them. They've all gotten 5 stars. I feel like I've talked about this series enough on my channel, so I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, it's like a podcast style mystery. And the other one is Daydream by Hannah Grace. I love this one. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. I felt like I really connected to the characters and I could find them so relatable with some of the things they were going through, and it just was like the right time for me to read this when I read it. And yeah, 5 stars. Next up is the best sequel you've read, and for me that was Redeeming Six by Chloe Walsh. This is another 5-star read. Both Saving Six and Redeeming Six were 5 stars. This, yeah, just broke my heart. It broke me, it tore me in two. I cried quite a bit of this book. It may have been like 900 pages, but I loved every second of it. I don't know if loved is the right word. I didn't love what was on the page, but I thought it was so well written, really, really heartbreaking, really pulls at the heartstrings. So yeah, that's probably the best sequel I've read this year. Question number 3 is a new release that you haven't gotten to yet. For me, that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This I am so excited for that I'm actually kind of scared to read. This sounds like the perfect book for me. Space, 80s, it's sapphic. I can't wait, and I've got the like special edition and I can't believe I haven't picked this up yet. I mean, it came out like just under a month ago, so it's not like it's been out ages, but I'm definitely going to be picking this up very soon. I can't wait to read this. I'm so excited for it. The next question is an anticipated release that hasn't come out yet. I think for me it's quite possibly Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I'm intrigued to see what her adult writing is going to be like. I've heard it's not too different from her young adult writing, but yeah, this is her adult debut. I'm going to one of the launch events for it in July, so I'm very excited for that, and yeah, I have high expectations. I think the concept is really interesting. It's about, I think a girl is given like 7 days to live after like an accident or something, and she's now trying to figure out who killed her, who caused the accident. I think. I could be mistaken, but it sounds really intriguing, and yeah, I'm excited to pick it up. It's definitely one that I'm highly anticipating this summer, but I think that's coming out in like 2 weeks from now. So yeah, exciting. Definitely going to get my hands on a copy as soon as I can. The next question is, what is the biggest disappointment this year for you so far? And for me, I found this hard to pick because yes, I've had some low rated books, but they weren't necessarily books I went into with high expectations. So in the end, I've picked a book. I still gave it 3 stars, so it wasn't like bad. Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy. I literally finished this like 2 days ago. I really loved Good Girl Complex, and this gave me the perfect summery romancy vibes. It felt like the same vibes as when I was reading books when I was like 12, 13, 14, but like an adult version, and the summer vibes were perfect. My friend, we buddy read it and she said that it was giving like Outer Banks vibes. So the second book in that trilogy, I had such high expectations for after really loving Good Girl Complex, but this one just let me down so much. It just did not feel the same. The summer vibes were still kind of there, not quite, but still sort of there. But the romance itself, I just was like not supporting that relationship at all. I was not on board with them, at least until like 3/4 of the way through. And so yeah, this was, I guess, disappointing. I still enjoyed some of it, like I still gave it 3 stars. But in terms of like comparing it to that first book, I'm now really nervous to read the 3rd book, which is The Summer Girl, because loved Good Girl Complex. This one, not so much. But yeah, this is probably the most disappointing. The next question on the opposite side is the biggest surprise for you this year so far. For me, it was What Does It Feel Like by Sophie Kinsella. This is a short novella. I thought it was just going to be a quick, easy, nothing special read. I ended up giving this 5 stars. This is quite autobiographical from Sophie Kinsella, and knowing that going into it made it so much more, I don't know, emotional I don't want to say what it's about. If you know anything about Sophie Kinsella and her life at the minute, then you'll probably know how this goes. But yeah, this was kind of heartbreaking, really sad, and I do highly recommend it though. And I'm so glad I picked it up on a whim. As it is a novella, I wasn't expecting much from it. However, I was really pleasantly surprised, and yeah, 5 stars. The next question is, what is a new favourite author from this year? And I was going through my spreadsheet trying to think of like a new favourite author, and I was really struggling because I haven't really read from many new authors this year and given it above like 3 stars. Like, I've read from new authors, but they weren't necessarily highly rated. So I wouldn't say I have a new favourite author. I guess the closest would be Hannah Grace. After reading Daydream, Hannah Grace could be a new favourite. I don't know, I didn't love Icebreaker, I thought it was okay. Wildfire was a lot better, and Daydream, like I said, was 5 stars. So I did read Icebreaker in December, but Wildfire and Daydream I did read this year. So I feel like that kind of counts. I feel like there's not many authors that I've loved books from that I hadn't read from before this year so far. We need to change that. We need to change that though. The next question is, who is your newest fictional crush? And sticking with Daydream, I have to say Henry. I really liked Henry in this. He was my favourite character from Icebreaker, so I was kind of counting down to reading Daydream, and it didn't disappoint. He's just so sweet. He's so sweet, and his heart is completely in the right place, and yeah, so thoughtful. I love Henry. He was definitely the first, fictional man that came to mind. Quick tea break. So the next question, question 9, is your newest favourite character. I found this question kind of difficult to think of like characters that I loved. I'm kind of bending the rules of this one slightly, but I'm going with both Gigi and Ryder in The Graham Effect. I think the two of them had such a good dynamic. The way they interacted, they were both like funny, and yeah, I just really liked the two of them together especially, but also individually, like with their friends. So yeah, I liked them, Gigi and Ryder. So kind of bent the rules. It was 2 characters, but yeah. So question number 10 is a book that made you cry. I have 2 books for this, but they kind of go hand in hand, and that is Saving and Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. I kind of put them together because they follow the same characters. Like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Redeeming 6, these 2 books, they really just like tugged at my heartstrings, I think because after getting to know the characters already in Binding and Keeping 13, by the end of the series so far, like, you've spent like over 3,500 pages together, and you just feel so connected with these characters, and I think that made it even more, I don't know, tragic, emotional. I love this series. I would definitely say check trigger warnings if you're going to read these, but yeah, I think they're just so well done, and even if they are like chunky books, they're worth it, and they don't feel like chunky books. Like, you do feel like you're flying through them. But yes, I cried at both these books. The next question is a book that made you happy, and for this, it's not a novel per se, but it is Ghosts Brought to Life, and this just made me so happy reading it. I binged all 5 series of this year and picked this up after, and it was so nice to like go through each individual episode, the characters, the setting, and it just made me so happy just to read this. I don't know, I just had such good feelings throughout. I even cried at the end. So yeah, definitely a book that made me happy this year. The next question is your favourite book to movie adaptation that you've watched this year. I don't think I've watched any movie adaptations. I don't really watch movies that much anymore. I watched a couple TV series that are adapted from books, one of them being Murder is Easy, and I thought that was really good. It was only 2 episodes, so kind of a movie. I haven't read Murder is Easy just yet by Agatha Christie. I don't even own a copy of it, but I thought it was a really good adaptation. I think, well, it was a really good like 2-part series, and I definitely want to read the book at some point this year so I can actually judge if it was a good adaptation or not. But yeah, I think that's the best adaptation I've watched. I'm trying to think. I also went to see Murder on the Orient Express, the play, live on stage. That was really, really good as an adaptation. That's not a movie or like TV show, so I don't know if that counts, but that was probably actually one of my favourites. So 2 questions left, we're nearly there. The penultimate question is, what is the most beautiful book you've bought this year? I pondered on this one for a while, and I decided to go with Atmosphere. I love the colours on the cover. Like, this actual cover design I think is stunning. It just tickles something in me. I don't know, it's just like, yes, that's a nice cover. The end pages as well, I think, are something like anything space like related I actually kind of love. I think it's just beautiful. I don't think they've been the best executed, these like sprayed edges. I do think like They are nice though. I feel like a lot of people don't like them, but I actually do. And I can see what they're going for. But I do actually just love the actual front cover, like the colour scheme, the font, just like the one rocket. Oh, yes. I actually do love it. I don't know, it just like, oh, it's just a pretty cover. And so finally, the last question is, what are some books that you need to read before the end of the year? For me, it's not like certain books. I think it's more just I need to wrap up some series. I have quite a few series on the go where I have like one book left. So for example, Mockingjay, I'm going to be reading in July to wrap up that series. I still haven't read 4, which on my spreadsheet counts as I haven't finished the series. Always with Love is a Billion Me sequel and I haven't read that yet. So I'm going to prioritise continuing and finishing series for the rest of the year. I think that's my goal. But that was the last question. There we go. That wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. I hope it was okay. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new around here because I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully the rest of the year will be a great reading year for all of us and yeah, hope to see you soon with a brand new video. Bye!